title of Aerosmith's 1979 album Night in the Ruts was more than just a clever name. Addiction, exhaustion, and band infighting had knocked the Boston rockers off their mid-70s perch. I'm Brian Raleigh, and this is Doomed to Fail. Give us your thoughts on Night in the Ruts. Is it a hidden gem, or better left forgotten? Let us know in the comments, and stay tuned for more UCR deep dives on classic rock albums that were doomed to fail. Aerosmith had spent the previous 2 years touring relentlessly in support of 1977's Draw the Line. Escalating drug use and the modest sales of Draw the Line left the band with a mountain of debt, forcing them back on the road in order to recoup their losses. This endless tour schedule interrupted the sessions for Night in the Ruts, and Aerosmith's performances grew increasingly erratic as they ramped up their drug usage even more. This debauchery and exhaustion only exacerbated the tensions between the toxic twins, Steven Tyler and Joe Perry. The friction came to a head after a show in Cleveland on July 28, 1979, when a nasty backstage argument between Tyler and Perry caused the guitarist to quit the band. With Perry gone and Night in the Ruts still unfinished, remaining guitar duties fell to his counterpart Brad Whitford, and a handful of session players, including Richie Supa, Neil Thompson, and Jimmy Crespo, with Crespo becoming Perry's official replacement from 1979 to 1984. Aerosmith released Night in the Ruts on November 16, 1979. It peaked at a respectable number 14 on the Billboard 200, but quickly tumbled down the charts and was panned by critics. The album's only single, a cover of the Shangri-La's Remember Walking in the Sand, fizzled at number 67 on the Hot 100. But was Night in the Ruts really the disaster it's made out to be? Not quite. For what it's worth, the album eventually went platinum in 1994, and musically, it's full of highlights. Album opener No Surprise is a whip-smart rocker that chronicles the band's early days in the clubs, including the night they played for Columbia Records president Clive Davis at Max's Kansas City. Bone to Bone Coney Island Whitefish Boy is a sleazy, diamond-hard rocker that matches the grit and menace of Rocks and Toys in the Attic, while Reeferhead Woman is a blistering blues jam featuring a scorching solo by Perry. Night in the Ruts also continues Aerosmith's trend of ending albums with a ballad. In this case, it was Mia, a heartfelt tribute to Tyler's daughter that also foreshadowed the band's demise. In the band's 1997 autobiography Walk This Way, Tyler explained, "It was a lullaby I wrote on the piano for my daughter, but the tolling bell notes at the end of the song and the end of the album sounded more like the death knell of Aerosmith for people who knew what was going on." The years following Night in the Ruts would bring even more hardship for Aerosmith. Whitford left the band in 1981, and their 1982 album Rockin' a Hard Place was a critical and commercial flop. Their concerts became drug-addled disasters, and Tyler's addictions threatened to destroy the band and himself. Perry and Whitford rejoined Aerosmith in 1984, and the band began its slow climb back to the top of the charts. They scored several multi-platinum albums and top 10 singles in the late 80s and early 90s, reinventing themselves as MTV darlings. With their commercial resuscitation and a new collection of hits, Aerosmith put their tumultuous late 70s period behind them. While most of its songs haven't been played live in decades, Night in the Ruts remains a victim of circumstance and an oft-overlooked gem in the band's catalog. Find more from Aerosmith by clicking the link in this video's description, and make sure to subscribe to our UCR channel here on YouTube for all of the best news and history of classic rock and pop culture.